We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice. You have locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz wants advice.
It's Brandon wants advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz wants advice to the front.
It's the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, where I go and look at low-owned plays and strategies specifically designed for GPPs. This is a show for people who are already informed on daily fantasy sports and how these contests operate. If you have any questions related to the NFL or NASCAR that you don't want to ask or you're too embarrassed to ask your usual DFS provider, or if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give me a tweet at Brandon Cruz DFS. Most importantly, take everything you hear with a grain of salt and use your best judgment when making entries. Additionally, if you have a gambling addiction, that's not my problem. And the reason I say this is because I see a bunch of YouTubers that have to say, oh man, someone PM'd me because I said play this guy, they got injured or they didn't do good, and now people are mad at them. I mean, listen guys, you make your own lineups, you know. We just give our thoughts on stuff. You're the dumbass putting, I don't know, whatever player it is in there getting injured. That's on you, that's not on us. That's why I say all that type of stuff. So guys, if you're not familiar with who I am or what I do, I mainly focus on GPPs, like I said, on NASCAR and the NFL. This video I'm focusing on week 3 of the NFL. I got quite a lot of pages. This usually goes throughout my week of research. Let's see, I got about 8 pages to go over. I'm guessing this thing will probably be around 23 to 25 minutes, but we will get through there, and I got some good little tidbits here and there. So let's get right into it. First off, I want to say this right fast. This week I'm playing it a bit differently. Usually I enter a shitload of lineups. I'm still entering at quite a bit of money, but I'm shrinking the amount of contests that I do down. I usually put on about $300 to $400 depending on just how I'm feeling that week. This week I'm mainly playing on DraftKings and Yahoo, and I'm focusing on less lineups and higher tournaments. So usually I make about 30 lineups. I max enter the $3 contest on DraftKings, and I usually play the 2-3 best lineups out of that in different ones. This week I'm probably just gonna make a shitload of lineups. I'm gonna knock those down to about 5 that I like and just enter those 5. And I found it interesting. I was listening to the Pat Mayo Experience, I think it was yesterday, and the guy that he had on, I just went blank on his name, but this is what he does. He mainly makes one lineup and he just enters it in high stakes tournaments. I'm not doing this just because of that, but I found it interesting that, hey, this is the week I'm going to try and do that, and he brought on a guy that's focused on that. So anyway, I wanted to do that. Recently, he also brought up that the cash point, like the DraftKings points for cash and tournaments have been pretty close this year, and because of that, I don't see a reason to play cash at all. I'd rather just play GPPs. And look, I'm not really going to focus on ownership because of this. I'm just going to play the best players that I see, and I'm going to make pivots throughout of there. All right, so now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to go over early targets that I had entering the week, the teams that I think are going to win in general, because I had some people PM me that because I didn't do it for the last video. I'm going to go over random notes that I have for each position going down, and then I'm going to go over running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and defenses that I like, both expensive and cheap pivots, and this is just my opinion on everything, so grab a beer and hold on. So entering week 3, early targets, guys that I'm interested in right off the bat, no specific order: Dalvin Cook, Le'Veon Bell, Eckler, David Johnson, James Conner, Kareem Johnson. Those are the guys, and I wrote this page about Tuesday, Monday, give or take there. So these are my initial opinions. That was for running back. For wide receivers, Keenan Allen, John Ross, Larry Fitzgerald, Emmanuel Sanders, Amari Cooper. Quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Andy Dalton, Dak Prescott. Tight ends, Hooper, Mark Andrews, Evan Ingram, Walker, TJ, and for defenses, Cowboys and Pats had my interest at the start of the week. And I'm just going through this the way that I pretty much make the notes. So I'm going to go over the games coming up, and then I'm going to focus on players and things of that nature. So Titans and Jaguars, I had the Jaguars winning that. I'm so stupid, I didn't write it down, but so far my record has been pretty positive. Week 1, I think I had 9 winners, 9 correct teams, 7 incorrect, and I don't focus on the spreads or anything. These are just people that I think are going to win. So I have the Jags beating Tennessee, which already happened. Falcons beating the Colts. Chiefs beating the Ravens. I got the Bills beating the Bengals. Packers beating Broncos. Lions beating the Eagles, Cowboys beating the Dolphins, Pats beating the Jets, Vikings beating the Raiders, Cardinals beating the Panthers. I'm very high on the Cardinals this weekend. Buccaneers beating the Giants, Chargers beating the Texans, Seahawks beating the beating the Saints, Steelers beating the 49ers, Rams beating the Browns, and Redskins beating the Bears. Those are my Week 3 picks. Now, getting into this, these are my random notes. Like I said, things I've written down, notes that I wanted to bring up and that I remind myself. And this is specifically off of my notes that I have written, so these are my personal notes. I'm not getting this from any fucking website. This is what I've picked up from podcasts throughout the week, things that I thought of, things of that nature. So, first off, what is Zeke going to do? How long is Ezekiel Elliott going to play? What is he going to do? I think I would look at him getting anywhere from 20 to 25 touches, but I think because of that, Amari Cooper is going to be really, really low owned. I think a lot of people are just going to hammer Zeke. They're not going to worry about the passing game. And listen, Zeke could blow up. He could go for 3 touchdowns. I understand that. But when you're just going to smack the shit out of the Dolphins, you're going to pass them. Dak Prescott wants to have fun. These receivers want to have fun. I really like Amari Cooper as a good pivot off of Ezekiel Elliott. And I think a Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott stack will be extremely popular no matter what contest you're playing, no matter what site you're on. I think those two are going to be very, very high owned. I'm not really concerned on if they pull Zeke in the fourth quarter. I think he does enough in the first 3 to make up if he doesn't play the fourth quarter. My most expecting, these are the most owned running backs that I expect to see. So I see Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, Eckler, Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara, and Bell, the most owned guys. That's just my own opinion. I think even though Kamara is going to be a little bit more owned than Bell, I think a lot of people are just going to not play Amari Cooper. Or, not Amari Cooper. Alvin Kamara, just because I just don't think a lot of people believe in him for whatever reason. They got Teddy Bridgewater over there. They got a lot of stuff, not looking, what is it? It doesn't look that well for the offensive line. A lot of people aren't expecting the Saints to be as explosive without Breeze, and honestly, they should be playing Taysom Hill. I mean, listen, Teddy Bridgewater, I understand you nearly lost your leg in practice, but Taysom Hill's a way better quarterback than you are. I think they're making a mistake by playing Teddy Bridgewater. I absolutely love Le'Veon Bell for the Jets this weekend. A lot of people just not liking him, and listen, Le'Veon Bell is the Jets. He is the team. He's going to do everything, and it would not surprise me if he throws a touchdown. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Legit, the Jets have to do trick plays. They have to do something to take down the Patriots. Everybody watched the Monday night game. Bell was the team. He did everything. I don't care if he's getting 2 yards a carry. He's going to be playing every down. He wants to play every down. I love Le'Veon Bell. I'm purely getting him for a volume over actual yards and touchdowns. He will just be fed the ball. Legit. Sean McCoy with Damian Williams out could be interesting. Carson could be interesting. Mack or T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. is questionable at this time, but I like T.Y. as another pivot. I think a lot of people will be paying up for quarterbacks. I think it's a good week to pay up for wide receivers. No one's really talking about Aaron Jones throughout the week. I find that quite interesting. Denver's defense is not as good as it should be, and Aaron Jones beat up the Vikings defense last weekend, and I think the Vikings defense is a tad better than Denver, so I like Aaron Jones looking at it right now. Philip Lindsay, he could be a slate breaker, but that's just how it's going to go. Devin Singletary will not play. I think that boosts Josh Allen's what is it? Projection. I think that boosts Josh Allen's projections. Listen, Allen likes to run. They've been trying to stop Allen from running as much as they could because they want to protect him. They've been using Devin Singletary there. if you look at it last year, LaShawn McCoy, even though he was there all year, they didn't really use him as much as Singletary in certain formations. I forgot what it was exactly. I don't have the tweet up right now, but someone compared McCoy's and Singletary's, split and how they ran and all that type of stuff, and it showed them being much more conservative with Josh Allen this year with Singletary there. Even though I do love Frank Gore now at such a cheap price, I think Josh Allen's going to run a bit more, and I really like Josh Allen this weekend against the Cincinnati defense that is just not the same without Burfict there. I think Barkley will struggle against Tampa Bay. I'm not playing Barkley. I'm just not going to play Barkley this weekend. I think Tampa Bay is going to focus on him. They're going to stack the box. It's going to be him and Ingram as the only people there. I don't like. I just went blank on their quarterback. But I don't like why they are. If I can find where his name is, I just went blank on his name. I am so sorry. This is just dead air right now. Complete dead air. What is his name? Daniel Jones. I couldn't remember it at all. I don't know why they're starting Daniel Jones against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers defense is really good. If they went in knowing that Eli Manning was going to get benched, why don't you just start Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones has a rough schedule these next 3 weeks. I think it's Tampa Bay. I just went blank on the other two teams, but this is a rough stretch to start Daniel Jones. And if he does bad on these next couple of games, his confidence is going to be terrible. I like Tampa Bay's defense in this game a lot, and that's why I'm not focusing on Barkley. Like I said, Cook is going to be very, very high owned tomorrow, target in a lot of lineups. Christian McCaffrey will face a tough Arizona defense, and a lot of people like Kyle as the quarterback against Arizona this weekend. I don't see that at all. I don't understand the mentality on that because, listen, I'm a Cardinals fan. I watch every single game. I think Kyle Allen is going to get killed because the one thing we do is we can blitz. We actually have a good defense. Our offense is atrocious. And, yes, we don't have a whole lot of coverage down the field, but if we can get to the quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback that doesn't seem as mobile as Cam Newton could possibly be, even though Cam Newton's been injured. I like the Cardinals' defense. I think they're going to struggle. I think the Panthers lose this. I think the Cardinals win it. I think McCaffrey will face a tough defense, and a lot of people will be off of him since he had a dud last week. So everything I just said may bring the ownership down on Christian McCaffrey. He could be a good pivot. I want to see what other people are saying today and tomorrow. Now, looking at wide receivers, this is just notes. Like I said, I'll go back and reorganize people that I like and don't like after this. This is just notes I have on them. Larry Fitzgerald leads the league in red zone targets this year. I see him having 12 targets tomorrow, not in the red zone, but just in general. I like him. Devin Smith will be a chalk, cheap wide receiver at 3,400. Nelson Aguilar, I think he's a better choice and could be a wide receiver one with all the injuries that Philadelphia has. For 4,700, DJ Metcalf could be a good low-owned guy. Zach Ertz is going to gain. He's going to have a lot of targets. This is going to go with the Nelson Aguilar note. Zach Ertz and Nelson Aguilar will be the two main targets for Carson Wentz on Sunday. I like both those guys. Keenan Allen will see targets. Alongside Sammy Watkins, Adam Thielen, and Galladay. I think those are the main guys who are going to see targets tomorrow. Watkins saw 13 targets last weekend and couldn't do anything with him. I think a lot of people jumped on him based on the week one, the points and everything that he made there. Sammy Watkins didn't perform with 13 targets. I think people will jump back off him. I think this is a good week to jump on Watkins. His price is a little down because of that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Now, Antonio Brown got released by the Patriots. I was very interested in Antonio Brown. Let me take a drink right fast. I was very, very interested in Antonio Brown this weekend against New England. Now that Antonio Brown is not playing, first off, man, this is some R. Kelly shit. Listen, Steelers got rid of you. Oakland got rid of you. The Patriots, if the Patriots are letting go of you despite the talent you have, I don't know who is there, and I don't know who's giving them information, but that must mean the Patriots think that he is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. I think his career's over because the Patriots didn't even want him. I think he's in some tough legal shit. Antonio Brown, man, sucks to be you, man. Mike Evans. With Godwin getting more expensive and Mike Evans not really producing these last 2 weeks, I really, really like him. Mike Evans play this weekend. Very low ownership against the team that they should win. I already said I like Jameis Winston. I don't think a lot of people are going to be on Mike Evans. I like Juju as well, even though they got Rudolph as the quarterback. I really like Juju this weekend. I like John Ross the third, but going against Buffalo, a defense that I think is legit, a team that I've really been rooting on. For the Bills, I think John Ross really struggles this weekend. John Brown for Buffalo, I like him for the Bills. Like I said, let's see. Sanders is still cheap, a little too cheap. Don't understand why he's that low. Randall Cobb, he's had 5 and 6 targets through the first 2 weeks. I think he's a great play for the Cowboys. My dog is just staring at me. Preston Williams for 3,700 with Josh Rosen starting. I don't know, man, this is the same thing between the Giants and the Dolphins. Why would you start Rosen against such a tough team? Man, the Cowboys defense is legit. Rosen is going to get killed. I feel so bad for Rosen. He got fucked over by the Cardinals last year. We screwed him over. And then he gets sent to the Dolphins to just go and die. That is, man, please someone get Josh Rosen and give him a good team. He could legit be good. Man, that sucks for him. But Preston Williams, I'm more interested now that Josh Rosen is there. Danny Amendola, can he have a bounce back week? Man, he shit the bed last week. I luckily did not have him, but a lot of people jumped on him. I think this could be a week to jump back. Damon Bird, this is a guy I'm interested in. 7 targets both weeks for Arizona. He's $3,000. He has caught 10 of the 99 total throws that Kyler Murray has made, and he's $3,000. Listed as a wide receiver number 5 for the Cardinals, but he is certainly not playing there, or playing like a wide receiver number 5. I like him as a $3,000 play. Now looking at quarterbacks, yet again, I'm going to get to these. I'm going to go over all the positions later. These are just notes I have. Lamar Jackson, Mahomes will be chalk. I don't foresee a quarterback having more than probably about 15 to 19% ownership, but I like. I probably won't play Lamar Jackson or Mahomes. I'll focus on other guys. But yeah, I love Josh Allen this weekend, but a lot of people are on him. I'm so pissed. I don't know why people haven't been on him before, but man, don't get off him. I like Josh Allen. Everybody likes Kyle Allen at $4,000, but I think Arizona will kick his ass. I think he'll kill him. I'd rather go Mason Rudolph if I'm going to use a guy like that. And now, I believe that is all the notes I have before I go into actual... Yeah, those are all the main notes I have. Other than a couple ones. So Daniel Jones, I think the Bucs will stop him. I like the Buccaneers defense. I like Jameis Winston at $5,400. He's a little too cheap. I think you should use him. I think a Dak stack is impressive. I used that as a week 1 or week 2. I forgot. I think it was week 1 when I stacked Dak and Cooper. I'll probably end up doing that again. Dak's a little too cheap. He's facing Miami. They should kick the shit out of Miami. And Phillip Rivers is not carrying ownership again. My 2 most successful lineups this year have been a Dak Prescott stack and have been a Phillip Rivers stack. That's just how it is so far, and all the people using those guys. That's where you got to make those pivots. Tight ends, not a whole lot of news here. Like I said, I already like Zach Ertz, Waller, T.J. Hooper, Witten, and Andrews. Defenses, Cowboys, Patriots, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Bills, and Bengals are why I like those. The Bills and Bengals is because both teams are turnover prone. I like them both. Buccaneers, I already said I like them. Blah, 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 things of that nature. Now, moving on to the actual rankings, my player pool. This is my player pool. This is the pool I am using. It's a bit smaller than last week because I'm not making 40 lineups. I'm making them probably about 5, maybe 7, depending on how it goes. That's how it's going to look. So, running backs, in no particular order, but these are my favorite running backs, not including the cheap ones. So, Dalvin Cook, McCaffrey, Eckler, Kamara, Bell, Aaron Jones, Carson, Connor, and Elliott are my running backs that are expensive that I will try and fit into lineups. The cheap running backs that I like, Breda, Jacobs, McCoy, Frank Gore. Those are the guys that I like. Breda at $5,900, $54, I think. Sorry, I can't read my own handwriting. I think that says 54. Let me look. Yeah, Matt Breida, $5,400. Josh Jacobs, $53. LaShawn McCoy, $5,000. Frank Gore, 4,400. You can do a lot here. You know, I'm not interested in Cannon Drake. I'm not interested. I mean, Philip Lindsay is interesting at $4,300, but I think I'd rather go with Gore. We'll see where everything goes from there. Wide receivers, the quote-unquote expensive guys that I like. Really like Cooper. Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, the cheapest he's been since, I think, 2014, 2015 on DraftKings. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Julian Edelman, because Antonio Brown's gone. Those target shares are going to go to Dorsett, Edelman, and Josh Gordon. Thielen, Lockett, John Brown, Josh Gordon, the cheap, quote-unquote, players that I like. Larry Fitzgerald, Will Fuller, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, DK Metcalf, Nelson Aguilar, Devin Smith, Preston Williams, Damon Byrd, Philip Dorsett are my cheap wide receivers that I would turn to if you need a cheap wide receiver. Tight ends, you know, this list is kind of shorter this week. Ertz, Ingram, Andrew, Waller, the expensive tight ends I would look at. The cheap tight ends I would jump to is Witten, Hooper, and TJ. Hooper's probably going to be my main target in tight ends. But I like Witten mainly because if you look at Jason Witten, a lot of people aren't talking about him. I understand. Not a whole lot of points usage, but the man has scored. He's doing pretty good on a fantasy aspect. You know, if you look at DraftKings points right here, 4 targets in both the games, 1 touchdown in each game, being used in the red zone, but 12 points last week, 10 points the week before, or 12.5, 10 points week before, whatever. You know, Witten for $3,200, you know what you're getting. That's 10 points. Where else can you find 10 points for $3,000? You know, you got to see where it goes. Just to see how your lineup goes. Defense, Cowboys, $4,300. Pats, $3,800. Now, a lot of people saw what the Patriots did last weekend against Miami. I had the Patriots. They were vastly under-owned. I don't exactly remember. Let me pull it up right fast. Let me see, because the Patriots were not owned last weekend at all, and I think that was a huge mistake last weekend. Let me find this right here, because I think this is really important to see. Let's see. Oh my gosh, come on, dude. I should have to separate. Okay, Patriots last weekend in the Millionaire Maker was 20.39% owned. They scored 37 points. That's a fifth out of the field using the most expensive. No, not the most expensive last week, but that's what they used against Miami. I think a lot of people saw that. They're going to go to the Cowboys at $4,300. I certainly do not hate that at all. I'm going to try and I'm going to try and make sure I have either the Cowboys or Patriots defense in there. I don't care about, you know, paying up for defense and blah, blah, blah. Listen, those two defenses will earn their weight in gold. Dallas at home? Are you kidding me? Dallas at home against Miami, they should slaughter the Dolphins. And the Patriots facing the Jets, they should slaughter the Jets, man. If I could, I'd put both those defenses into a lineup. I like them way more than some players this weekend. I'm going to try and focus on those guys. If for whatever reason I'm trying to jump off the Patriots or want some salary relief, Bills at $3,400 is interesting. Buccaneers at $2,900. You know, I could go that. You know, the Giants suck in general. Don't think their quarterback change is going to do much of anything. Cardinals at $2,700. I think they end up beating the Panthers, and I think they get a lot of sacks. And the Bengals, $2,400. Man, if you need to go dirt cheap down there, go Bengals, man. Josh Allen could easily be tackled, throw some interceptions, throw a pick six. You know, if I had to go down there, I'd do that. That's the lowest I would go, man. I don't see a reason to go any lower than $2,400 on defense. Excuse me, that's just me. You know, and that's about it. That's all my choices. That is my player pool. That's all the notes I'm using. So if you need cheap guys, I told you the cheap guys that I look at. I guess, yeah, that's about it. That's everything I've written down. I'm recording this Friday evening. I'll probably make a couple lineups tonight, a few lineups tomorrow. Most of them will be Sunday morning when I understand who's playing and who's not. I usually make all my lineups about Sunday at like 4 a.m. anyway. But guys, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or anything, tweet at me. Tweet towards me, whatever you call it on Twitter. YouTube, man, in the comment section. Check it out. I know a lot of you guys are from the tavern on Discord. Thank you for listening, checking out my videos. I do appreciate it. For those of you that don't know, I hang out in the Betting Bartenders Discord, in Anzo's Discord, DFS Taverns Discord, however you want to look at it. They got some good guys over there. I would highly, highly advise checking out DFS Tavern on YouTube. No one gives a shit about me. No one donates to my Patreon, so you might as well donate to his. At least you get something out of it. Guys, thank you very much. Best of luck on the GPPs tomorrow. My NASCAR video is out. It's already uploaded. It was uploaded probably about an hour ago. So guys, thanks for listening. Probably won't go live tomorrow just because this has all my final thoughts on it, basically. And best of luck. Don't get married to your money. Have fun. And if you lose money, don't go bitch at a YouTuber because they told you to play someone. We're seeing injuries at a crazy rate this year. It's wild, man. The amount of injuries this year is crazy. Another thing. Small rant. Give me the next 30 seconds. I saw one guy was like, "Listen, guys, don't play all your money. You don't want to bet away your rent." Like, man, fuck that, man. Where's the fun if you aren't betting your rent away? Where's the fun if you're betting all your food money? Like, come on, guys, have some fun. Let it ride. And let your life ride on this stuff. And then if you fail, you just fail in life too. So, I don't much give a fuck. I'm just here to have fun. So, guys, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much.